And the more that you believe that you're that bitch, you're going to start creating and living that bitch kind of life. And that's what we all want.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It always sounds so funny every time I say that because it sounds like when they make fun of like, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. That was a hiccup. Did you hear that? Anyways. Oh my God, now I got hiccups. Are you going? Are you done? Okay, guys. Anyways, in this video, I want to talk about bad habits. And we're not talking about, little bad habits, sucking your thumb, biting your nails. We're not talking about things like that. We're talking about bad habits that mentally you do most of the time subconsciously that you don't even notice or think it's going to affect you in such a negative way, but it actually is. And these are all going to be things that I do. I always on my channel, I tell you guys all the time, I tell you about stuff that I either know about well or stuff that I go through personally. So of course, I can kind of talk about it because I can relate to it the most. All 2022, no bra. So if you see me with no bra, don't say nothing to me. Don't say nothing to me. So with these bad habits, it's all gonna start in your mind. In your mind. It's all gonna start there. And it's not gonna be a quick, easy fix. If you're looking for a quick, easy fix, if you're looking for some little quick magic tricks, I don't have any. I don't even think any exist. This is something that's gonna, over time, you just have to practice daily so that you can get it and it sets in your mind. It's basically stuff that you have to train your body and your mind to do the same way your body has been trained to do the negative things that you do. It's only because it's from habit. It's from continuously doing it all the time. It's what you've been taught either growing up or you've been doing in your early adult life. It's just something that you did repeatedly over and over and over again. You didn't think it was bad, so you kept doing it. It became a habit. So now we have to train your body the same way with doing, just replacing those negative ones with positive habits. So this is all going to be mental exercises that you have to practice on a daily, if not multiple times a day. The first one is going to be, of course, how you talk to yourself. And it doesn't always mean like you're looking at yourself in the mirror or you're just sitting down, sorry, I got an itch at the corner of my nose. Oh my God. This is not going to be just you, oh, you're such a terrible person. Da, da, da. It doesn't necessarily mean that. It doesn't mean that you're just sitting down every day and just talking down to yourself. Some people do that. And that's definitely, of course, something you would have to change. But sometimes it could be as little as when you make a mistake and you're like, oh my God, you're so fucking stupid. Oh my God, I'm so dumb. Da, da, da. That's something that I do all the time. And I didn't even notice how much I was doing it and how bad it was affecting me until somebody was actually pointing it out. So every time I was like, oh my God, I'm so stupid, I'm so dumb, da, da, da. They would be like, no, you're not, don't talk to yourself like that, don't talk to yourself tough like that. So the same way that they were kind of repetitive with telling me all the time that was wrong, it was kind of setting into my brain like, oh, yeah, it is wrong. Because it's not like every time you make a mistake, it's bad. So what that's doing is training my mind to think every time I make a mistake, I'm just dumb. I'm just stupid. I'm worthless. Da, 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 da. And it's not like that. A mistake is totally fine. You learn from it and you move on, no matter how big, no matter how small. But if you tell yourself negative things every time you do something wrong or make a mistake, it's going to train your body to just feel so bad every time you do something. The second one, you kind of have to think about it for a second. Like when you think about your life and where your mindset is right now, like when you think about how you think and see life, are you mostly living in the past, the present, or the future? You have to think about it for a second. Like in most situations, when something bad happens or when something doesn't go your way, are you one of those people that you're like, oh yeah, well, I kind of expected that because I'm used to this and this happening and this always happens and this happened to me before and blah, blah, blah. I can admit I am one of those people. I was one of those people that my mind just lived and just resided in the past. It just stood there just for no reason. We don't live there. It's been years since stuff happened to us, but yet our mind, every time something goes wrong or something bad happens, we always go back to the past and blame it on that. And what that's doing, again, is training your body to relive those traumas or those bad experiences that you've had in the past. But we no longer live in the past. That's the past. It's already happened. You can't change it. So because something is happening that you don't like, or something's going wrong right now in your life, it doesn't mean that it has anything to do with your past. You have to learn how to let the past go so that you can understand that what's happening right now is what's happening right now, and you could deal with it head on and move past it. You keep taking these situations that are happening to you right now and are attaching them to the past, it's just going to make that trauma grow bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's going to take over your life. So it could have been something bad that happened back then. Maybe it was small and you could have let it go if you would have worked on it, but you just kept it inside. And now every time something happens that might be similar to that, the trauma just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you're going to start expecting stuff like that. And then we go into manifestation and the law of attraction and mindfulness, that if you're just expecting stuff like that all the time to happen, that's what's going to happen, because that's what you're attracting into your life. So that's the negative part about living in the past all the time, is that if you live in the past, one, you're growing that trauma. So your body is in survivor mode at all times. You're just all the time having to survive, because you're always subconsciously in the back of your mind thinking something is going to go wrong. Something's going to go wrong. So living in the past is one of those things that we have to work on. If you live in the future, sometimes people think, well, I'm not going to live in the future. I'm past, I'm going to live in the future. And that's not always the best thing either. I think it's great to plan your future, or try to make steps to planning your future, because things don't always go as planned. But to always think in the past, to always be like, I need to get here, there, and actually never living in the present time, you're not really living life. Because if you just work all the time to try to get to this specific goal that you have for your future, you're just going to be so head focused on that. And then when you finally get there, it's going to be like, okay, great, I did it. Okay, on to the next thing now. But you didn't take any time to enjoy your journey to get there. So I think we don't have to go too far back. We don't have to think too far ahead. We just have to be in the right now. Most of the time, for you to get to where you want to go anyways, you just have to take steps. Take little steps to get there. And the little steps that you take, you get to enjoy every journey and experience and every lesson that you learn within those steps. Sometimes you don't actually get to learn anything if you're just so focused on the future and you're not actually learning anything as you go. You're just like, oh, this though goes wrong, then you fix it. But you didn't actually learn anything from it. Just like a machine going and going and going. You have to make sure that you are centering yourself right here in the right now so that you can enjoy what's happening right now. Because if you take the time to do that, your future plans can actually change. The third thing is what you actually believe about yourself. We have to change, depending on what it is that you do actually think about yourself, you might have to change it or make some adjustments. And I know most people kind of hear that and they're kind of like, well, I'm the shit. I'm this, I'm fire. But you actually have to sit down with yourself and actually think, do you really think that about yourself? Or do you think maybe you're not smart enough? Or maybe do you think that you aren't worth certain experiences? Or do you think you're not beautiful enough? What do you actually think about yourself? The only person that's living my life is me. And why am I not supposed to think those things about myself? Do I think that I'm better than everybody else and everybody should just bow down to me? No, I'm not a god. I'm not of any type of higher power where I can rule or I'm better than anyone else. No. But do I think that I am worthy of everything that I want and need? 100%. Whether you feel I'm educated enough, whether you feel I'm beautiful enough, or whether you feel anything about me, it doesn't matter, and it doesn't change how I feel and view myself. So that's going to take definitely some time to practice. If you look at yourself and maybe you think that there's things that you need to change about whether it's your inner self or your outer appearance, then you can go ahead and change those things for you, not for anyone else. So that you can get to the point where you do feel like when you walk into the room with your head held high, you are that bitch. Because that confidence, it really isn't always just about your appearance. Having confidence doesn't always mean it's just that you're going to feel good in your clothes or that you're going to look pretty or that this or that. When you have confidence that you can do anything that you want, that goes into every aspect of your life. That will go into your relationships. That'll go into your career. That'll go into just things that you want to create for yourself. It's going to go into all that. And the more that you believe that you're that bitch, you're going to start creating and living that bitch kind of life. And that's what we all want. And the last thing is not to be hard on yourself. No matter what you hear, whether it's me telling you, whether you hear it in another video and you're kind of like, well, I can't do that. Like, that's hard. It is. Everything that I'm telling you that you need to change about yourself to get to where you want to go, in my opinion, it's going to be hard. This isn't an easy step. This isn't a switch that you're going to watch my video and all of a sudden you're just going to become your higher self. That's not going to happen. This takes work. But every time you do make a mistake, or every time maybe you do go back and be like, dang, I'm not pretty today. I don't feel pretty today. Or dang, I'm so stupid for not knowing that. Even if those things happen and you slip up and say the things that you're not supposed to say and do, it's okay. You just have to realize it, notice it, and be like, okay. And then say something positive or do something positive for yourself to counteract that. And then keep going about your day. You don't have to be like, well, dang, I was doing so good and now I'm not. And then you're so hard on yourself that you go right back into your old patterns. Be forgiving. You're so forgiving with other people, but you're not forgiving with yourself. Every time you make a mistake or you take a few steps back, you have to be forgiving of yourself. To be like, okay, it happens. I'm human. And then you have to keep walking forward. You can't just take a few steps back and then be like, well, fuck it. Then I'm going to just walk backwards. So then what was the point? What was the point of doing all of that work if you're just going to keep going backwards? You're going to keep going backwards. You're going to keep going backwards. People get knocked back. People get knocked down. It doesn't matter how many times or how low you start or how low you get in life. It just matters on what you do to get out of that. You can be homeless right now, not have nothing, not have a dime to your name or nothing. And it's not going to matter if 2 years from now you got your own house, you got a job or a business, and you're looking fine. Who's going to care that you were homeless 2 years ago? Nobody. They're almost going to praise you like, oh my God, you was homeless and now you got all this. I don't even got this and I was never homeless. Nobody's going to care about the past. Nobody's going to care about all that negative stuff. They're just going to see you now. You think that everybody's going to judge you on what you've been through, but nobody's really going to care. So you shouldn't care either. Most of the time, the choices that you make are controlled by your subconscious mind. And if you haven't done the work to heal yourself or to do better for yourself, your subconscious mind is going to, again, just keep rolling back those films of all those traumas and all the negative stuff and bad stuff that's ever happened to you, and you're going to move accordingly. So you have to take the time to break these bad habits, and you will start to teach your subconscious mind to think positively and do positive things and make positive choices. With that also being said, if you come into contact with somebody who is at a higher level than you, let's say spiritually, whatever you want to call it, whether they're in a higher level of their healing process than you, and they're telling you that something that you're doing right now is wrong, or how you're moving or what you're doing right now is wrong. If you're not ready to receive that message yet, or if you're not at that part of your journey yet, that is okay. That is okay. Whether you want to receive the message that they're telling you and you want to incorporate it into your life, that's great. But if you're not ready to receive that message right now just yet, it doesn't make you a bad person. You're just not ready yet. You'll get there in time. You have to be gentle with yourself, but you also have to demand more from yourself, if that makes sense. So you have to discipline yourself to do these steps to get to where you want to be, but also be gentle and forgiving through the process. These are all the habits that I'm looking to change in my life. And these are all the habits that, I've already kind of been working on, and I've been seeing the difference in my life and, the people that have been coming in and out of my life due to me changing these habits. I'm noticing who belongs here and who doesn't belong here, who actually cares and loves me and who doesn't, who supports me and who doesn't. It's really working for me. So I just wanted to share these little tips and tricks and habits that I've been changing, and maybe that they will help one of you guys as well. Even if it only helps one person, I don't care. Now that one person's life has changed, and that's good enough for me. Because no matter who you are worthy and you are important and you are that bitch. So I love you guys so much. I hope you like this video. And of course, I hope it reached somebody who was supposed to. Share this video. Maybe it'll reach somebody who doesn't follow me, and it could really help them in life. Of course, if you have any questions, comment down below. But I will see you all in the next video. Love you. Bye.